You're finally making real money. Income is up, the kids are growing, and suddenly you're staring at two really important financial goals that both need your attention at the same time. Do you fund the college savings account or do you double down on retirement? And I'm not talking about a little tension here. For a lot of Gen X and millennial parents, this feels like a genuine dilemma with no clear answer. I'm Jeff McDermott. I'm a CFP with Create Wealth Financial Planning. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the math, the psychology, and an actual framework you can use to make this call based on your own situation. No generic advice, no it depends, and nothing useful after that. Stick with me because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to think about it. Parenting rewires your brain. Wanting to pay for your kids' college is not a financial preference. It's an emotional response. You watch them grow up, you want to give them a head start, and the idea of them graduating with a mountain of debt feels like a personal failure. I get it completely. I've got 2 kids of my own, so I can relate. But here's the thing a lot of parents miss in this moment. Retirement's the one financial goal you absolutely cannot borrow your way out of. You can get a student loan. You cannot get a retirement loan. Nobody's going to hand you $800,000 at age 65 and say, pay it back when you can. Think of it like the oxygen mask on an airplane. Put yours on first. If you haven't secured your own financial future, you might end up depending on those same kids you worked so hard to help. And that's a much heavier burden for everyone involved than a student loan. So before you open up a 529 account, the first question to ask yourself is, am I actually on track for retirement? A rough rule of thumb, by your early 40s, you want to have roughly 3 times your annual salary saved for retirement. By your late 40s, closer to 4 to 5 times. By 50, ideally 6 times or more. These are precise targets and will depend a lot on your future goals and your standard of living, but they give you a starting point. As a hypothetical example, just to illustrate the point, if you're earning about $150,000 and you're 45 with $300,000 saved, it's a gap worth addressing before you redirect money to a college fund. If you're 45 with $650,000 saved, you've got a little more flexibility to do both. The point is not to hit an exact number. It's to check whether retirement is reasonably funded before you start splitting your dollars. And if you're not sure where you actually stand, that's exactly where a financial advisor can help you run the numbers in a way that accounts for your specific income, expenses, and timeline. Once retirement is on track, a 529 plan is an excellent tool for college savings. Contributions grow tax-free and withdrawals for qualified education expenses come out tax-free as well. Some states even offer a deduction for your state income tax return for your contributions. As of the end of 2024, there were over 17 million active 529 accounts holding more than $525 billion in assets, with an average balance of around $31,000 per account. That number tells you 2 things. 1, a lot of families are using these, and 2, most accounts are underfunded relative to the actual costs of college. For reference, the average annual cost of 4-year public in-state university is now over $27,000 per year, including room and board. Private schools can double that. So if you have 2 kids and you want to cover even a significant portion of their costs, the math adds up fast. The key is starting early, contributing consistently, and being realistic about what percentage of the bill you're actually trying to cover. You do not have to pay for all of it to be a great parent. So how do you actually do both? The answer is sequence and proportions. Step 1, capture any employer match in your 401k first. It's free money. Skipping it is a mistake. Step 2, make sure you've built a small emergency fund if you don't already have one. Step 3, evaluate whether retirement contributions are putting you on the trajectory of those benchmarks we discussed earlier. If you're contributing somewhere in the range of 15% of your income toward retirement and you're on track by that age, you probably have room to start layering in college savings. Step 4, open a 529 account and start contributing what you can afford without pulling back from retirement. Even modest monthly contributions compounding over 10 to 15 years can make a meaningful dent. If you're behind on retirement, the priority is getting there first. You might redirect college savings contributions temporarily until you close the gap. It's not selfish. It's smart sequencing. If it comes down to it, if you're short on money, there's also a case to be made for letting your kids borrow some of the cost of college, particularly through the federal student loan system. Students who borrow typically have access to income-based repayment plans, programs like public service loan forgiveness that parents borrowing in their own name might not have access to or might have less favorable terms. If you want to help your child repay the loans down the road, you can absolutely do that. You can gift them money to make payments without ever taking on the debt yourself. This keeps your name off the loan while still providing support. One important update here, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, signed in 2025, introduces new federal loan limits taking into effect in July 2026. Federal loan amounts are being reduced and lifetime loan limits are being put in place. What this means practically is that the federal system may not cover a large share of costs as it once did, especially at expensive schools. That makes your college budget planning and your choice of school more important than ever. Think about this now, not in the fall of senior year. If you're an early high earner in your 30s with a solid retirement foundation already in place, you have real flexibility to fund college savings aggressively. Time is on your side. Compound growth in a 529 over 15 plus years can be very powerful. If income growth came later in your career and now you're in your late 40s or early 50s playing catch up on retirement, retirement gets the dollars first. The kids have more options. Federal loans, scholarships, work study, community college for the first 2 years, a whole range of school cost differences, all give them flexibility you simply don't have with your retirement. This is also a conversation worth having with your spouse or partner. Alignment on priorities matters. Disagreements about money are one of the biggest sources of friction in relationships, and this particular question has a real emotional weight attached to it. Get on the same page about what you can realistically afford and what your goals actually are. This decision is a perfect example of why looking at your finances in isolation never works. College savings and retirement are competing goals, yes, but they're also connected. The more solid your retirement plan is, the more you can give from a position of strength rather than sacrifice. This is what comprehensive financial planning actually does. It looks at the competing goals, runs the numbers, gives you a sequence and strategy that works across your whole financial picture, not just one account at a time. If you're a parent wrestling with exactly this question right now, I'd encourage you to think about where you actually stand before you commit dollars in any direction. The wrong order could cost you years of progress. If you found this helpful, share it with another parent who's dealing with the same question. It comes up constantly, and most people are making this decision without a clear framework. And if you'd like help working through your specific situation, including where you stand on retirement, what a realistic college savings target looks like for your family, and how to build a plan that covers both, reach out to us at Create Wealth Financial Planning and book your free intro call. The link is in the description.